The Mayor and City Council welcome you to the Peoria City Council meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence all phones. If you would like to address an issue that is on the agenda, or if you would like to speak to the Council regarding a non-agenda item, please complete a speaker request form which can be found in the front lobby of the Peoria City Council chambers or in the tray to the left of the speaker's podium. Please place the completed speaker request form in the second tray to the left of the speaker's podium labeled Request to Speak. All speakers will have 3 minutes to complete their comments. A countdown clock is easily visible on the left side of the wall behind the City Council dais. Only items listed on the agenda may be addressed by the Council. Since items presented as part of the speaker request have not been listed on the agenda, and due to the requirements of the open meeting laws, the Council will be unable to respond to items presented as part of the speaker's request. However, please be aware that your comments will be noted. The speaker's name will be called to speak at the appropriate time in the order that the forms were received. Thank you for your interest and participation in the Peoria City Council meeting.
The Peoria City Council meeting will now come to order. Please rise for a moment of quiet reflection and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Youth Council Liaison Bowden. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Carlett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Binsbacher.
Here.
Councilmember Patena.
Here.
Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Finn.
Here.
Councilmember Hunt.
Here.
Councilmember Leone.
Here.
Council Liaison Bowden.
Here.
And Council Liaison Camacho.
Here.
Good evening and welcome to the Peoria City Council meeting of March 1st, 2016. The first item on the agenda is a video. It was my honor to attend the Peoria Police Employee Appreciation event last week. Many of our officers were recognized for amazing, life-saving, and distinguished service awards. The video you are about to see was played at the end of that ceremony. In this day and age, there are many places where police officers are unappreciated and even vilified. That is not the case in the city of Peoria. Our officers deserve our respect and our thanks. For that reason, I want to show this video that speaks to the sacrifice our men and women make every day to keep us safe.
Dear officer, I want you to know that I see you. I see you choose the booth in the restaurant that allows you to have your back against the wall. I see you pulled over 2 hours past your shift as you finish your reports under a streetlight. I see you as you direct traffic in the scorching heat, the gusting snow, and the downpour of rain. I see you as you watch mainstream media crucify your character while minimizing your cause. I see that you are tired, frustrated, and misunderstood. I see that you are hurting as the world watches you bury your brothers and sisters that died because they were guilty of one thing, wearing a uniform with a badge. I see you. I see that you are flesh and bones just like me. I see your cause, and I want you to know that I appreciate it. I hear you. I hear the sound of the garage door open after a long night of consistent tragedy. I hear the sounds of your heavy footsteps, and I can instantly tell what kind of day it has been for you. I hear the sound of your duty belt hit the kitchen table as you relieve your back from the 30 extra pounds you've been carrying all day. I recognize the sound of Velcro as you unstrap your body armor and your work boots. I hear the sound of your little boy's bedroom door open as you enter his room. I hear the sound of you kissing his cheek and whispering that you love him. I hear the sound of your heartbeat as you choose not to share your day because you know that it will only scare me. And even though you do not speak, I still hear you. I still know that something happened on your shift that has broken your heart. I feel you. I feel the difference in the way you hug me before you leave to go to the grocery store and the way you hug me before you leave for one more night on your beat. I feel the grip of your hand as they wheel you back to surgery to fix an injury you have sustained on the job. I feel the wetness of your tears as you try to make sense of the tiny life that was taken by the hands of her parents. I feel the sigh of relief when you see your little boy running towards you after you've experienced too much darkness in the world. I feel the sinking of your morale as you watch a very vocal and sparse opposition flood social media with their misplaced passion for their idea of justice. I feel the way you look at me as you read that one more of your brothers or sisters have fallen victim to a hate crime. We both know it could have been you. I need you. We need you. I know the world is making you feel like the only allies you have can be found in each other. I know that it is becoming increasingly more difficult for you to put your life on the line for a world that has seemingly turned their backs on you. But I also know that won't stop you. What the world seems to forget is that you don't suit up every day for their approval. God knows you don't do it for the money. You do it because it's your calling. You do it because you believe that you can help goodness persevere in the face of evil. You've chosen to be a warrior, and warriors don't hang up their hats because of the opinion of someone else. I wish I knew how to fix it. The only thing I know how to do is support you. I'm aware that there isn't a magic solution that will make the world see you for who you are. I just want you to know that I see you. I need you to know that you are appreciated by a vast majority who is in your corner. You are honorable. You are courageous. You are worthy of a nation's support. We see you. We hear you. We love you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for getting up one more day to protect my family. You are undeniably my heroes.
Peoria Police Department, everyone, all of our public safety officials, we thank you for your sacrifice and your service. Now, we will move on to our consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda includes liquor licenses or other types of items that require public hearing. If there's any member of the public present who wants to address a public hearing on the consent agenda, please complete a speaker request form and place it in the bin next to the speaker's podium. Is there a member of the public who would like to address a public hearing item that is on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none. Council, are there any items to be removed from consent?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to ask that item 10C be removed from the consent agenda and request a staff presentation.
Okay, thank you. All right, Council, we will now vote on the consent agenda with the exception of item 10C. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. We'll now move on to the regular agenda, item 10C.
Andy Granger, our engineering director, will make a brief presentation on this item.
Thank you, Carl. Mayor and council, item
10C.
10C is a request for council approval to move up a drainage study from fiscal year 17 to fiscal year 16 for the amount of $200,000 for the area of 67th Avenue and Pinnacle Peak. As you may know, this area has experienced significant drainage and flooding issues over the past several years as this area has continued to develop with custom home lots. Referenced in this picture is the area of 70th Avenue and Mariposa Grande looking south, and it's an area of one of the more significant areas of ponding that it occurs during significant rainfall events in this area. Unfortunately, under this type of development, regional drainage improvements are not incorporated. The purpose of this project is to evaluate the drainage issues and provide short-term and long-term solutions to provide a regional drainage solution to this area. The study area will be bounded by 67th Avenue on the east, Hatfield Road on the north, the New River on the west, and Pinnacle Peak Road on the south. If approved, we will move this project up approximately 4 months in the capital program from the obviously next fiscal year to this fiscal year. We will hire a drainage consultant, conduct community meetings to understand and to discuss drainage issues and possible solutions with the community and the neighbors. Identify preferred solutions that will provide workable, affordable interim solutions that address the most severe flooding issues until we can develop a regional solution in this area with a partnership with the Flood Control District of Maricopa County, and that is currently funded in fiscal years 19 and 20. The timeline for this study is to hire a consultant and start the drainage study. We anticipate the drainage study to take approximately 1 year. At that time, if we have interim solutions or quick fixes, we will obviously make them during that time frame. But at the end of the study, we will provide a recommendation for final design solutions. We will then go into final design, land acquisition, and construction of those recommended intermediate solutions in the summer of 2017. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Comments, Vice Mayor?
Yes, I would like to make a comment. I just want to thank you and other members of your team for taking the time to hear the concerns of the residents, talk to them, talk with me, go out there, visit them, and look at this firsthand, and for putting the extra time and attention into this and making it more of a priority. I think they'll be very pleased to see that we're addressing this sooner than later. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other comments? Do I have a motion on item 10C?
I'll move to accept item 10C.
Second.
Thank you. Council, please vote. Item 10C passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. The next item is new business, and that is item 16R, rezoning Ironwood Estates, 104th Avenue and Pinnacle Peak Road. Mr.
Chris
Swenson?
Hawkes, our Planning and Community Development Director, will make the presentation on this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item 16R is a proposed rezone filed by Empire Residential Communities for a project called Ironwood Estates. The proposed site is a vacant infill parcel of approximately 5.04 acres. It's generally located south of the southwest corner of 104th Avenue and Pinnacle Peak. The request tonight is to rezone the property from its current general agricultural zoning to a residential planned area development for a 6-lot single-family residential community. A planned area development, this is a type of zoning district where the standards can be tailored to better respond to the project and the context for the area. So this graphic is a zoom in of the area. So again, the site, 5.04 acres, is identified in blue on the screen. The area to the north is a combination of vacant lots and some developed single-family residential lots. The vacant lots are roughly around 35,000 square feet. The home in the middle is a little shy of 2 acres. The properties to the east and south are part of an Ironwood community that was established in 1995, but it's a mix of different lot sizes. Directly abutting the site to the south and east are lots around 35,000 square feet. Other lot sizes in the area for Ironwood, 18,000, 8,000, and 6,000. And then the property to the west is the Community of Grace Church. So if I can direct your attention to the screen, the graphic on the left is the general plan land use map. The site is currently designated as a state residential on the general plan, or a density range of 0 to 2 units per acre with a target of 1 unit per acre. This is a designation that promotes and is desirous of larger lot sizes. Lot sizes are generally 18,000 square feet and above. The area in darker yellow to the south that comprises most of the Alta Vista And Ironwood community is low-density residential, 2 to 5 units per acre, and that's more of a moderately sized lot, suburban context. If I can direct your attention on the right, that's the existing zoning. As I indicated, the site is zoned general agricultural. General agriculture really is a holding zone where a site is held in less intense state until the proper time comes when there's a desire to develop the property. The properties to the north that are identified in green are zoned SR or Suburban Ranch 35,000 square foot minimum lots. The Ironwood, as I indicated, mix of lot sizes. It's also a PAD. And the church, although zoned R118, a residential zoning district, is a non-residential use there. This graphic illustrates the conceptual development plan, and as again indicated, this is an infill single-family residential community. The development proposes up to 6 residential lots. All lots will be limited to 1 story in height. The minimum lot size for this PAD would be 23,787 square feet. The average size would be 28,000 square feet. So if you look at the 2 lots to the far west, those are roughly 37,000. So they're a little larger, but the average throughout the entire development is 28,000 square feet. The gross density for the development is 1.19 units per acre. As I indicated, the target density is 1 unit per acre, so it's a slight increase over the target. However, in our analysis, we believe that the slight increase is mitigated by a substantially deeper landscape buffer. If you look at the buffer along 104th Avenue, it's about 53 feet. Typically, we get a 10-foot landscape buffer along those kind of frontages. Also, the single-story limitation was a considerable concession to some concerns from some of the neighbors around the area, and also an upgraded entry theme wall. So we think those items provide for the slight increase over the target density. As I indicated, this general plan land use is state residential, large lot, single family, generally above 18,000 square feet. At 1.19 units per acre, we find the proposal to be in conformance with the general plan. The added single-story limitation, again, will add to the compatibility of the area. And as I indicated, we believe the slight adjustment over the target is mitigated with some of the features I talked about. Just real quick, I'm not going to go through this chart here, but the PAD, the planned area development, is modeled after the city's R118, 18,000 square foot district. Some of the differences on that, of course, are the larger lot size, so the minimum lot size being 23,787 square feet. It does include a larger width. The minimum width would be 150 feet, minimum depth 145 feet, and as indicated, it would be all single-story limitation. As you know, all our rezone projects go through a citizen participation process. When we get the project in, we send a notice of application. We send it to all property ownerships within a 600-foot radius and all registered HOAs within a 1-mile radius. Throughout the project, we did receive 1 email in opposition to the project. That email is attached in your staff report. I believe it's Exhibit F. There was also the requirement for a neighborhood meeting. That meeting was held last summer, June 23rd, 2015, at Sunrise Mountain Library. There were 2 neighboring property owners in attendance, and some of the comments that we heard from that meeting was a preference for home sites to be limited to single story. But there has been ongoing discussions with the applicant and some of the neighboring property owners, and that's resulted in some further enhancements. The single story limitation, there was a decrease in the number of lots. I think initially it was 7, they reduced it to 6. And there was an offer to rebuild a taller wall along a portion of a neighbor's property along the north. The item did go in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission on February 4th, 2016. There were 3 speakers present. 2 voiced opposition to this request. Those in opposition believed that the minimum lot size should be 35,000 square feet or larger. In the end, after the deliberation, the Planning and Zoning Commission did vote 6-0 to recommend approval to the City Council. So with the findings identified on the screen, we find that the rezone is in conformance with the general plan. It is consistent with the estate residential land use category, 0 to 2 units per acre. And we believe that with some of the limitations placed on the property through the PAD, that it will provide for a compatible development with the surrounding community. And so with that, the recommendation is that the council concur with the Planning Commission and approve a proposed rezone of 5 acres from general agricultural to a planned area development subject to conditions 1 to 11 in your report. And with that, I can take any questions.
Thank you. Before we move on to council questions, I do have one speaker request form. Ms. Van de Kalp, if you would please come up and state your address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak, and the clock is up.
Good evening, my name is Vonda Culp. I live at 10449 West Pinnacle Peak. I'm directly adjacent to this property on the north. We've owned the property since 1992. We built our home in 1996. We were actively involved in the Ironwood Development Plan, the original Ironwood Development Plan. That plan, when it came in to planning and zoning and before the council, the lot size, the largest lot size was 10,000 square feet. At the council meeting, we went into an executive session where at that point we negotiated with the developer 35,000 square foot lots on the north end, transitioning into 8,000 square foot lots south of that, and then into lower small density, the 6,000 and 8,000 square foot lots. The purpose of the 35,000 square foot lots was to provide a transition from the lower density up into, or the higher density at the south, up to the lower density to the north. We also stipulated at that time in the executive session that there would be no stories. Again, this was back in 1996, the original Ironwood Development Plan. When the developers started to build, we witnessed some two-story homes going in. We contacted the city immediately, and apparently there was an oversight. They didn't capture the minutes from the executive session that stipulated to no two stories at that point. By the time we caught that, there was only one home site that was yet to be sold, and that home site, which is just to the south of the lot to the west. That's a one-story home. In order to mitigate our issues here with the two stories, the developer stepped in. They put 15 trees on our property and on my parents' property to kind of shade the construction of the two stories and so forth. Anyway, in November 2014, I was contacted by attorney Mike Curley about this development. I met with him in his office. We reviewed the preliminary plat, which was 7 home sites. They ranged in size from approximately 20,000 square feet up to 35,000 square feet. We stipulated at that time we wanted all homes to be one-story. We wanted the barrier at 104th Avenue to be reinforced due to cut-through traffic from that development. They seem to, the existing residents seem to drive around the barrier that's in place. We indicated that we would like some low-level rural lighting, and we also brought to their attention that our fence on our property is constructed 1 foot back from the property line. So if there was any interest in tying into this fence, they would have to purchase the property and pay us for tying into that fence. At this point, that's like not an issue. It's just if they had any intention at all of tying into that fence, that they needed to know that that was inside the property line. Anyway, short of the story here, I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission from 1997 to 2001. I participated in the original draft of the general plan. I realized that this area is residential estate with the 0 to 2 with the target density of 1. In that plan, there were some definite areas, that I want to highlight. The estate areas were supposed to be large, single-family residential development. The density range, 0 to 2 dwelling units, is intended to provide sufficient open space and lots that create an open environment. Building envelopes are encouraged to minimize the disturbance. The granting of the development approval for projects exceeding target density shall substantially exhibit incorporation of additional amounts of open space, incorporation of developed recreational amenities, integration of plans to retain, replace, or salvage native desert and vegetation, and mitigation of potential development-related impacts. The way this plan sits and the way it's been presented, I think undermines the intent of the general plan as it was drafted in 2001. This project or property is bordered on three sides by lots that are 35,000 square feet or larger, and I respectfully ask that this proposal, it is drafted and been submitted, be denied. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this? Is the developer present?
Mayor, members of the council, my name's Richard Zacher, 6617 North Scottsdale Road. I'm a principal partner with Empire Residential Communities. First, I'd like to say that this is our fourth infill project in the city of Peoria, and it's really been great to work with the city and the members of the staff. I have a long history of doing infill projects, mainly in Phoenix, but Peoria has been great to work with. In terms of our development here, Ironwood Estates, a lot of the things that Ms. Culp mentioned, I think are incorporated into this plan. We're not doing a mass grading. The individual lot owners will do individual grading drainage plans. Our lots are as big, some of them significantly larger than a lot of the lots in the direct area. We've worked with Ms. Culp to try and make a lot of concessions. When I first acquired this property, my expectations, which are just my expectations, were 10 lots. We went to 8 lots, we went to 7 lots, and now we're at 6 lots. I feel like for an infill property where there's existing infrastructure in most cities, we try and take advantage of the infrastructure and do a little bit more density, but I understand there was a PAD put in place a while back. But in all the projects I've done, this looks like a perfect transition between the north and the south. And, you know, and everything on the west or east of 104th Avenue. And, yeah, I'm here to answer any questions.
Council, do you have any questions for the developer, for Chris? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chris, can you, on this slide, can you bring it up to where we see below Via Chula? Perfect, thank you. So in looking at this property, or the development, it pretty much mirrors the Via Chula property just to the south of it. Is that correct? I mean, the lot size is maybe a little bit smaller, but it does look like it's a fairly good transition from the south up to the north. Is that what I'm seeing here? Is that correct?
Councilmember Edwards, the properties that are south of this site, as part of that PAD, are 35,000 square foot lots, but the lots in the larger area, again, there's a mix of lot sizes, 18,000, and then they go down to 8,000 and 6,000.
Okay.
But the lots that abut it are a little larger.
Okay. And so I guess this will go back to the developer. I would really like to make sure that you guys have exhausted all your resources. I know that this has been a long-standing issue with the developer and the residents, and I cannot believe that you guys can't come to a solution over this property. And I know it's been a long time in coming. I understand what the issues are, but I just can't believe that like-minded can't come together and for the better good of this development, because I'm in favor of this project, and I don't understand where the sticking points on this development are.
Councilman Edwards, I agree with you 100%. In my opinion, we've come to an agreement. I mean, at one point, we were purchasing the land for Ms. Culp. We were paying for her fence, all at the request of her. We reduced the lot size, the density, and the number of lots down to 6. At one point, we had a letter agreement, and I thought we were there. So I'm equally as confused as you are in terms of, what we're proposing here. I'm not sure what else to do. I mean, I guess I could go down to 4 lots. But it seems like then the lots would be much larger than all the lots around it. We've provided for open space at the entry. There's only 3 lots on the north of our street, and we have 4 lots on our north boundary. So like I say, I would be happy to consider something, but to be honest, I don't know what else I can do.
Well, I'd recommend that you guys work together along with staff to, I'm in favor of the project, but I don't want to throw in the towel. I don't want you guys to throw in the towel yet. And Chris, maybe it's not for you, or maybe it's for Andy, but the 104th Avenue that we're talking about, I know that it doesn't go through. What are the plans to make sure that that barrier is a little bit more permanent, so that traffic doesn't, go north to Pinnacle Peak?
Councilmember Edwards, so the applicant, as part of this project, will be required to do, of course, their half street on 104th, curb gutter, sidewalk, and landscaping. In terms of the, there's Andy, in terms of the barrier, I'll let him address that one.
Mayor, members of the council, the barrier is there right now because the road to the north is unimproved. If we ever do improve that road to the north, then that barrier would come down and that would be a public road. So we could put the barrier up right now, but that's really just an indication that that road is unimproved, and we don't recommend travel through that because it's an unimproved road. But you could potentially have connection there to the north and to Pinnacle Peak.
I understand that, but
for
I guess what I'm
access.
getting is when this development goes through and that they make their improvements to the end of their property line, now we have a nice clean street up until that barrier. What's to stop residents from thinking that they can go and just go around that barrier to continue to 100 or up to Pinnacle Peak? I'd like to see something, not a permanent barrier, but something more pronounced than what's out there now, because what's out there now is old, dated, it's not painted. It basically, people don't pay attention to it and they drive around it. So I'd like to see something more pronounced as, look, the end of the street is here.
Yeah, we can obviously accommodate that as part of those half-street improvements that the developer will put in.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I've got a question about that street. So the people in this neighborhood will not be able to come down Pinnacle Peak and go south on 104th?
Right now, Mayor, that road is unimproved, and it's a dirt road from 102nd Avenue over to 104th Avenue, and then coming down is a dirt road. So the access is from the south, or will be from the south when this property is developed.
So no one is allowed to use Pinnacle Peak except the 3 homes that are on it? Is that what you're saying?
No, the access on Pinnacle Peak is a dirt road. A portion of that is in the county. The north half of that road, that right-of-way, is in the county, actually, and the road is unimproved. So it's a dirt road right now. So all of the county residents and any Peoria residents that access that or utilize that road are on a dirt road. So that's why we put the barrier up at the end of the asphalt, is to indicate that the road is unimproved north of 104th Avenue where the development will be.
But it's not a private road. I understand that it's unimproved, so is the issue dust?
Well, it's dust, and we haven't had all of that right-of-way perfected, and we haven't had the funding to be able to improve that roadway. So if we wanted to pursue that as a future capital project, we could, but a lot of that has to do with the county, too. The north half of Pinnacle Peak is within the county jurisdiction, so typically we look for a funding source from the county that 50% cost share in those improvements.
So at this point, the city is not wanting to use Pinnacle Peak Road, is not wanting more traffic on Pinnacle Peak Road, is that correct?
Well, I would say that the city is not interested in 100% funding Pinnacle Peak Road for an improvement as a local access road. Right now, what we would propose if we did construct it, it would be built to local standards for the local residents. So what you're saying is, until it's improved, you don't want more cars driving on it? Correct. It's an indicator that it's on an unimproved road, if there's potholes, or if it's, we don't maintain that roadway, that dirt roadway, so we're trying to indicate to our citizens it's a danger going beyond that barricade.
Okay. All right, I understand that. Okay, good. Is there any other comments or questions? All right. Councilmember Edwards, are you wanting to move forward with this, or did you, are you? Okay. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Council, please vote. There was a motion and a second. And it passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. The next item on the agenda is call to the public on non-agenda items, and I do have one request to speak from Mr. Ron Lisniak. If you would please come to the podium, state your address for the record. The timing clock is up in the corner.
Live. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Ron Lisniak. Some of you know me from other arenas, but I'm here tonight to talk about an issue that's been problematic with me for several years. And with the recent movement on talking about quality of life in Peoria, I thought this was an appropriate spot to bring it up. Give you the Reader's Digest version first. Our city of Peoria main post office has no ADA accessibility to it. Sadder than that, our United States Congressman is not really interested in participating to make it right. I've spoken with either directly or indirectly with Councilman Patena, and I believe Mike Finn was involved because I understand maybe it's your district or something like that. We have 2 handicap parking spaces there, no buttons on the wall to let you get in or to let you get out. When I was 550 pounds and I used a walker, I used to ram the door with my walker in an effort to get it open. No one would come to my assistance. I've got a copy of the correspondence, which I'll be happy to leave with the city clerk. But basically, the congressman gave me the razzmatazz. Having been a staffer to a congressman myself in my past life, I understand what I call razzmatazz. But what he basically said is that, just as a highlight, the United States Postal Service is I should note that neither the Architectural Barriers Act, which applies to the Postal Service, nor the American Disabilities Act, which applies to most commercial establishments, requires automatic doors. It's too costly for them to put it in. Nevertheless, the Postal Service has used automatic door openers in many of their facilities and will continue to install them in the larger facilities. Now, the purpose of these things, I believe, is to allow all citizenry to have equal access to things, not to humiliate them by asking them to open the door or hold the door open, to mainstream the people and so they have a quality of life. The congressman went on to tell me that this was too costly. Talk about, and in here, in his letter, and I will provide a set to your clerk. We talk about, I didn't memorize it, so I apologize. Oh, earmarks. He says he doesn't have access to earmarks anymore because Congressman Jeff Flake, now Senator Flake, did away with that when he was there for 8 years. I don't believe that, he said, because of budget restraints, there's no money. These items cost about $3,000 a piece. We recently went through it in a community where I live. We're looking at maybe $12,000, $15,000. I can't believe in the grand scheme of things that we can't find or attach to some one of the crazy bills that come out of Washington, an expenditure that would allow for this. But more importantly, how many other postal facilities in the United States of America are subjected to the same thought process as our congressman wants to put forth? Thank you very much. I'm looking at the clock and I've exceeded my time. I don't know what the city can do or is in a position to do. Maybe they'd be in a position to take a position and ask that this be corrected. I noticed that the state of Arizona, the Senate Bill 1284 is still under consideration. And here, this Senator John Kavanaugh out of Fountain Hills wants to, before anyone can file a discrimination lawsuit against a building owner, they have to be given 60 days to correct the violation. So the state's obviously wants to do their part. I know the mayor and the city council want to do their part towards the quality of life, and I wish that we had a U.S. congressman that would feel the same way. I have not gotten that impression from my correspondence to date. Thank you very much. And shall I just leave my copy with the clerk?
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, based on the open meeting law, we're not allowed to respond directly to you, but Mr. Swenson, can we have someone from staff?
Yes, Mr. Lisniak, Thomas Adkins is our Intergovernmental Affairs Director, and he works with our congressional delegation, and you can chat with him outside, and
Okay,
he'll
thank you.
be happy to help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to reports from City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Carlett and council members. Two reports this evening, and the first is an introduction. We have three new staff people in senior management positions in our departments, and Don Prince, my assistant, will introduce you to each of those new staff people. Don?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm pleased to be able to introduce these three staff members who are both new to the city and new to our management team. I'd like to call Dee Dee Getz, Kyle Kubashigawa, and David Valenzuela down to the podium, please. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them and then have them go ahead and go around and shake hands of council when we're done. So first, Dee Dee. Dee Dee comes to us from St. Cloud, Minnesota, where she served as the Human Resources Director for the City of St. Cloud for about 26 years. Her experience also includes teaching senior and graduate level courses at St. Cloud University, as well as working in county administration for both Stearns and McLeod counties in Minnesota. Dee Dee has both a bachelor's degree in business with a minor in economics and an MBA from St. Cloud State University. Dee Dee began working for the City of Peoria in December of 2015 as a human resources manager. Next up is Kyle. Kyle Kaboshigawa spent the last 30 years serving in the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Air Force Reserves, and the Air National Guard. During his long tenure, Kyle held positions such as Contract Management Chief, Facilities Maintenance Chief, Civil Engineer, Environmental Engineer, Commander over Logistics, Commander over Civil Engineering, and Commander over Mission Support. Kyle has a civil engineering degree from the University of Washington and a master's degree in engineering from ASU. Kyle started with the city in February of 2016 as the facilities manager. Okay. Next is David. David joined the city of Peoria with more than 20 years of experience in economic and business development. He has worked with a variety of companies within many targeted industries, including assisting startup companies. Some of the companies he's previously worked for include Ship House, which is a logistics services provider, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport Authority, and also the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, where he served as the Vice President of Business Development, focusing on the high-tech aerospace and business services industry. David began his career actually with the town of Gilbert in economic development. David holds a bachelor's degree from Arizona State University and an MBA from the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. David began with the city as the Chief Business Attraction Officer in February of 2016. Please join me in welcoming these three outstanding new employees to the city.
Welcome. Congratulations. We're glad to have you.
Good to see you again. very fortunate to have these three talented individuals joining our staff team. And Don, thank you for the introductions. Appreciate that. The next item I have is a video. We'll be showing an overview of the upcoming events.
The City of Peoria brings a variety of great events coming this spring. The City of Peoria, along with the Friends of the Peoria Public Library, present Bravo Peoria, Saturday, March 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This annual family event and book sale also includes face painting, a balloon artist, entertainment, inflatables, food vendors, kids' crafts, a petting zoo, and so much more. Families are invited to join us at the Sunrise Mountain Library and Camino al Lago Park. The park features additional activities for kids and families to enjoy. Funds from the book sales are reinvested in City of Peoria library activities and events. For more information, visit peoriaaz.gov special events. Join us for the 40th anniversary of the Dolly Sanchez Memorial Easter Egg Hunt Saturday, March 26th from 8 a.m. to noon at Centennial Plaza. The whole family will enjoy candy hunts for children, meeting Mr. and Mrs. Bunny, inflatables, games, make and take crafts, petting zoo, pony rides, and a scavenger hunt. Admission and parking are free when you bring canned food, which benefits the St. Mary's Westside Food Bank Alliance. Some activities require a nominal fee. Food and beverages will also be available for purchase. Just remember, this year's event is being held in the Centennial Plaza at the Peoria City Hall campus. For more information, visit peoriaaz.gov special events. On Saturday, April 2nd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Old Town Peoria becomes a hub of creativity and fun during the City of Peoria and Peoria Unified School District's Peoria Arts and Cultural Festival, presented by Sky Zone. Students from Peoria Unified School District exhibit their artwork, perform dance and theater acts, and play music on stages throughout the event. Attendees can enjoy a family bike ride, wagon rides, and a kids zone. In addition, one-of-a-kind chairs are available for purchase during the Charity Silent Auction, which benefits the Peoria Education Foundation. The event is held throughout Old Town Peoria, including Osuna Park and Peoria Center for Performing Arts. For more details, visit peoriaaz.gov special events or call 623-773-7137.
Join us for Fan Appreciation Day, March 30th. To thank our fans for the 2016 season, we're offering buy one, get one free outfield box, bleacher, and lawn tickets, as well as $2 concessions on select items. Ticket discount available at the ticket office windows only. For more information, visit PeoriaSpringTraining.com.
And that's all I have for my report.
Thank you. We will move on to reports from City Council. Start with Youth Council Liaison Bowden.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have anything to report today. I would just like to further encourage youth and their families to take advantage of the many city events that we have going on, as seen in the video, especially spring training games. Spring is a great time to be in Peoria, and those are always a lot of fun, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Patena.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the Police Awards dinner last week, and many police were given awards for their outstanding achievement. It was a great evening hosted by Chief Minter and John Sefton. It was a lot of fun. It was amazing to hear some of the stories that our officers do on a daily basis, and congratulations to all of those who received an award. I want to talk just very briefly about something that went on last week, Tuesday and Thursday. The not-for-profit committee met. That includes myself, Councilmember Edwards, and Councilmember Hunt. And this is we actually heard over 60 not-for-profits come to the city really looking for money. A lot of money has been cut by the state and by the federal government, so they get the money they come to municipalities and they ask us for money. Some of the organizations that come to us were Homeward Bound for Family Services, the Alzheimer's Association, City of Peoria Community Development, that's we pay for some water bills for people, Benavia, Sun City Area Interfaith, Streetlight USA that deals with human trafficking, girls actually 11 to 17. Emergency home programs for the City of Peoria, Habitat for Humanity, Ability 360, it's a Peoria home accessibility program. And my point is this, is that for CDBG, we gave away about $773,000 this year. And in general fund, we gave away about $241,000. So this program, this particular event has been going on for over 20 years, and it's an opportunity for the city to continue to enhance the quality of life for all of its citizens. And there's, one of the things that we ask for when we're interviewing these not-for-profits is, how many Peorians do you serve? And the more Peorians you serve, the better chance you have of getting funded. And so there's many outstanding programs out there for our citizens, and I want to thank Vicki Hunt and John Edwards for supporting me in that committee, and just wanted to make you and our citizens aware of some of the good things that Peoria is doing. So thank you very much. That's all, Mayor.
Councilmember Patena, would you care to explain to citizens who might be watching how CDBG funds come and what they are?
Yes, Mayor. CDBG funds are a community development block grant, and I guess back in 1996 or 7, we became an entitlement city. And what that means is that we get, instead of the money filtering through the county, the money comes right from the federal government to the City of Peoria, and we administer that money. And when I first started with the city, I think the first amount of money we got was something like $400,000, but annually, every year, we get somewhere between $600,000 and $700,000 from the federal government, and we get to use that for public services and to fund not-for-profits and a whole litany of things that we can do, again, to enhance the quality of life of Peoria citizens. So it comes from the federal government, and we use it as wisely as we can. And this year, just about every one of the people that came to us looking for money was funded to some extent.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Councilmember Edwards?
Thank you, Mayor. On the 22nd, I continued my tradition of lunch with the council member, and this time we were honored to be at Centennial High School. I want to thank Councilmember Fenn for attending. We had about 12 to 13 high school students. Again, they just always impress me to the fullest of their potential. So I just want to thank the council member and the staff over at Centennial High School for welcoming us. The next day on the 23rd, I'm happy to report that I attended Glendale City Council meeting, and after a 2-year endeavor, the city of Glendale has passed a scenic corridor, which means that from 51st Avenue to Bell Road, there will be no billboards. And so this has been a long project of mine on behalf of the constituents of Peoria. I just want to thank everybody that came out and showed their support to the Glendale City Council. So thank you for attending that. The next day, on the 24th, I attended the Cactus League luncheon over in Surprise. And though their stadium is impressive, they don't hold a candle to the Peoria Sports Complex, let's be honest. So I'm looking forward to the spring training games opening tomorrow. And this morning, I had the honor of attending with the mayor press conference over at Huntington University at their new campus where the old Dolce building was in the P83 district. This is going to be a full college campus in the old Dolce building, which is going to be doing some construction here in the near future with planned enrollment students in campus by the end of the year. So I'm really looking forward to that. And lastly, I know we do have a lot of things going on this weekend, Rio Bravo Peoria and some other city events, but also I'd be remiss if not mentioning that Frontier Elementary PTSO is having their carnival this weekend on the 5th, which is Saturday, from 12 to 4. It's free to the public, so they're encouraging everybody to come out and have some fun. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, spring training starts tomorrow as opening day. It's a big day in Peoria. Last week we had our, in addition to some of the other Cactus League events, Dinner on the Diamond, which was a fantastic event that kicked off spring training and gave Peoria an opportunity to showcase our fantastic facility and all that we have to offer our citizens as just one of the best spring training experiences in the Valley, in the Cactus League, and certainly one of the most affordable. So we're looking forward to a great season. I too attended the Peoria Police Department's Employee Appreciation event, and it was a fantastic event. The video was moving then and moving tonight, and I just want to say that the message I get from the constituents that I interact with so many on a regular basis is that is a tremendous amount of respect and appreciation for our police department. So I think that we really are on the right path as far as building a strong sense of community and collaboration between police and our citizens, and it takes all of us to keep that going and to keep it strong. So it was an honor to be there, and we're grateful for all of the folks that are part of Peoria Police Department, awarded or not. Very, very important to making this city what it is. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Finn.
I just voted yes instead of turning on my microphone. Just a couple of real quick things. You know, this time of year, everybody's really busy with galas and balls and all sorts of fun things to go to, which I had an opportunity to attend. But I think the highlight of my past 2 weeks was actually going to Centennial with Councilman Edwards and sitting with the students there. It was really, it was just such an interesting thing to listen to what they had to say. And I thought John did a fantastic job. So thank you for inviting me over there. You know, guys know I'm a diehard Coyote, so it was nice to go and have lunch with them. So thank you so much for that. I also wanted to thank staff for the improvements that they made in the roads in Palo Verde District. It was fantastic, and I do want to tell you why. I mean, it's great to have the roads done, but what was nice is I drove around over the weekend, and I saw a few people out that I happen to know in different parts of the neighborhoods, and they were incredibly complimentary of the process that the city went through in doing that. And by process, I mean they came home and found notes on their doors that said, hey, in the next couple of days, there's going to be some improvements on your roads. And then a couple of days later, by the way, if you didn't read that little note that we put, here's some orange cones out on the street reminding you, please don't park here. We're going to be working in the next few days, and then got it done in no time at all. It looks fabulous. So thank you so much for that. And then just a reminder to residents in Palo Verde District, bulk trash pickup is coming. I've seen your yards. You need to do some cleanup. Get that stuff out there on the street and take advantage of that. So it's twice a year this year. And moving forward, so twice a year. So please take advantage. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, it has been a fast and furious 2 weeks since we sat here. I was very proud to serve with Bill and John on the not-for-profit. I've done that for many, many years, and it's really one of the highlights of my council experience. I won't go into a lot on it, but one of the local Peoria not-for-profits that we did here is the Boys and Girls Club of Peoria. And I just really want to encourage any of you out there that have kids that don't have a place to go after school. They actually serve a hot meal every day at the Boys and Girls Club, and it's very minimal cost for your child to go there. They have homework help and not entertainment, but activities, basketball, and so on, so plus that hot meal. And it's a safe place for them. It's one of our really wonderful organizations here. Today at the Women's Club meeting, which I am a member of and attend every month, our guest speaker was a young woman from Peoria High School. And I think, Peoria family, that you have a real council here that has a heart for kids, and I'm always so proud and pleased with our two council liaisons, with their maturity and their level of understanding and just their general politeness. I mean, you guys are great examples. This young woman was no different. The Women's Club had given a Hobie Fellowship, which is Hugh O'Brien, Hugh O'Brien Youth Scholarship, and it's to send one student, and we sent ours from Peoria High School. Her name was Shannon Sons, and she is a junior there this year. She was a sophomore when she won the fellowship and went. She was just a model example of what we know that so many of our kids are in Peoria, and it's so easy to hear bad things about kids, and they're doing this bad and that bad, but I'm here to tell you, I think we've got a really, really bright future ahead with the young people that we're raising now, that City of Peoria is helping to raise, as well as families. Another great thing that's happening right here in our district, we have 2 new Habitat for Humanity homes going in. Habitat is also one of the not-for-profits that we awarded money to. There have been about 100 Habitat homes built here in the City of Peoria since they started building, and most of them have been in the Acacia District. These 2 are right downtown, 85th Avenue and Washington, and one on Jefferson. So drive by and say hi there. They're every Saturday morning, and they're all volunteers. We had a new business open last Friday right downtown, and that is Fire Station number 1. Don't go there for any medical assistance, okay? They don't even have a defibrillator. You have to go a little further for the real fire station, but this is a distillery, and it is a wonderful example of adaptive reuse of one of our original historic buildings, our old fire station. So drop in and say hi to the folks there. Again, I also attended the press conference for Huntington University and beyond excited about them coming here because they're going to fit a unique niche for those wonderful kids that we're talking about. They're a graphic arts university is their major, their award that you'll come out with at the end of your time. And so many kids now are attracted to that, and this university is going to make them the best of the best with a really high percentage. I can't remember, any of you guys remember what the percentage of graduates were that get a job? 97% of their digital arts graduates get a job, some with Pixar, other major forms. So it's really good for you to look into. If you're ready to go to college in September, they'll be open. And one last thing, and that is our community garden. I haven't talked about it for a couple weeks. It's a little off schedule because we're supposed to pull everything out in March and replant, but March came in February this year, so the plants were like, they don't know whether they're supposed to be alive or dead, and but it's coming along really nicely. People are changing their beds over right now. We have some other fencing that went in just yesterday and today, and we have our arbors in now. So we also had a Boy Scout going for his highest badge to come in and do some work for us. And so it's still a work in progress. Drive by, you'll see how beautiful it is and what a nice addition it is to downtown. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Oh, that was enough, huh?
Councilmember Leone.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's always best to be last because everybody said it's already done. So anyway, I just want to mention a few things that on the 17th of February, Desert Harbor Block Watch. You know, these block watches committees is important. I think every community should have a block watch meeting at least twice a year. We have block watch officers that come down and give you all the information that you have to know, what to look for, and how to keep your garage doors closed, and how to keep some lights on. So I think it's important that if you don't have a block watch, call the police department and inform them that you want to get a block watch going, and believe me, they'll do everything they can to get it going. So I think it's important that we get a block watch in every community, not only in my district, but in all the districts, because it's really important. On the same day, on the 17th, I went to the Cactus League luncheon at the Capitol, and I generally go every year, and it's at the beginning of the Cactus League. and Fergus Jenkins was there from the Cubs. Matter of fact, I saw him 3 times that week. And how many times do you see an ex-professional baseball player? But anyway, it was a great luncheon, and he had some good speakers there. And ever since they got it started, at least ever since I've been in the council, I've been going, and it's great. Also, I entered on the 18th dinner on the Diamond, and that was also great. I want to thank the committee who put it on, did a great job, and I've been going to that for the last 5 years. And I just hope they keep it going because it's an important thing to the Cactus League and the dinner. Then I also entered with some of the council people at the Cactus League luncheon and surprise, and Judge Brent was there, and Fergie Jenkinson was there again. And it's just a great luncheon, and every year they have it in different cities in the West Valley. So it's great, and if you can get to go, try to get going, try to get there. Also on the 26th, I also entered the Police Department Employees Appreciation Night. You know, and these people, these police officers that go out there every day for you and for me to save lives, and they do a great job. And, you know, and you get life-saving medals, volunteer hours, supervisors of the year, officer of the year, employee of the year, and achievement award. I think it's great that we have a great police force, and they do a great job. And also the committee who put this on did a great job, and I want to thank them. Don't forget now, get out there and vote. Absentee ballot, I guess, if I'm wrong, I'm sure the city clerk will tell me, but you can vote absentee ballot, and the 22nd is the vote, so get out to vote, and it's important. It's only presidential voting, so it's very important that we do it. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Youth Council Liaison Camacho.
Thank you. Yesterday, I attended the Arizona State DECA competition, an event with student representatives from every school in the Peoria Unified School District. And this gave me an excellent opportunity to promote the many youth programs in Peoria, primarily the Peoria Youth Advisory Board. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the first day of spring training, if you haven't heard it yet from anybody down this line. Tomorrow's our charity game. That means both of our teams are playing each other, and all of the proceeds are going to the Diamond Club Children's Charities. So it's a really great cause. But there's also another game coming up, and that's Friday, March 4th. And that is a day when you are allowed to bring your dog to the game with you. So how cool is that? You can just go sit on the lawn, bring your dog. Your dog has to buy a ticket, but I'm sure you give them enough allowance, right? But dog tickets are $5, and all of the proceeds from the dog tickets go to the Humane Society. So a really fun thing to do. So I hope you will go to that. And there is one more thing. I just wanted to draw attention to something that Councilmember Edwards said. He has successfully eradicated billboards on the 101. So because of the work that he did along with our city staff brilliantly together, they just hung in there for a really long period of time against some pretty uphill battles. It was tough going, but now there will be no billboards on the 101 within Peoria residents' viewshed. None, due to their work. So give them a call and say thank you. And there being no further business, we are adjourned.